Hello class, I'm your instructor, Professor David Haskins. I'm making this information available to you now on the weekend of Memorial Weekend. I want to go back through the calendar to make sure that everybody is on board as far as what things you currently do. At this point, if you notice, if you go to the course content homepage, that module number 1 is complete. If you were working on discussions on Module 1, you will now notice that has been locked. You should be finishing up Chapter 2 at this point, the Designing and Planning Technology Enhanced Instruction, and also be working on Chapter 3. The way these discussions have been set up, I want you to get in and make some original posts yourself about the subject matter in each of the chapters. A few days later, I want you to come in and start reading the posts other people have made and then making replies to these posts. I have set it up so there's about a 5 to 6 day period from when a discussion is to be begun and when you should finish all your replies and all the things you're going to put in that one discussion. So it does take a few days to do these things, but I want you to interact with each other. So far, I think you've done an excellent job in that way. Now, in the first 3 modules, in Module 1, 2, and 3, there's no outside assignments other than the discussions themselves. You should be working on the practice chapter test that I've given you. As I've told you several times in my instructions, these are for practice only. The practice tests do not count at all towards your grade points in this class. What they do is they prepare you for your midterm and for your final exams. I actually take the questions from my midterm exam from these practice tests, which means if you take the time to review these things, and I would suggest that you review them more than once, but if you take these, you will actually know the kind of questions, the exact questions that I'm going to ask, which means you will be much better prepared for your midterm. The same will happen later in the class when you're working on your final exam. So please be sure and use these. Now, the first assignment that you'll have coming up that has to be done is the Project 1. The Project 1 is the Informational School Flyer. A few of you have already created this project and done an excellent job. For the rest of you, please be sure and look ahead to this project. Even though it's not actually due until before the first week of June, if you look ahead and read the instructions, you'll find what I've done in this project is give you step-by-step tutorial instructions on how to create a flyer. And what I want you to do is when you open up those instructions, download the PDF file, that portable document file that's an Acrobat file, and read through these instructions. Use the instructions to make a duplicate or as close as possible to the actual tutorial that you're seeing inside there. Now, you're not creating a portable document file yourself. You're simply following the instructions and making a Microsoft Word flyer. But it should look as close as possible to the example I've given you on that tutorial. The second part of this project is you will take the information that you have learned in creating that project to create a second flyer that has new information, has new pictures. I want you to make a variation of your own. So you will be sending me 2 Microsoft Word files in this project. One looks as close as possible to the tutorial I've sent you, and the second will be an example of something that you've made that's different. And in different, I mean I'm looking for different information, possibly a little bit difference in the way you lay out your flyer. If you continue to go through the tests, the practice test, and keep up with the project ahead of time, I think you'll find this class very easy. If you wait till the last minute, I think you will have difficulty with some of these projects. The first project, many of you will already have a good understanding of how to work with Microsoft Word, so this may not be as much of a challenge. A little later in this course, we'll be getting into a PowerPoint presentation. And in the PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to deal a little bit more on the technical aspects. So you want to be sure and read through the instructions because I will be looking for certain features in the PowerPoint presentation that you may or may not have already used in the past. If you omit these, you will find your grade will suffer. So please read the instructions, look ahead because there's information on how to do those. The third project will probably be the most challenging. The third project is where you create your own web page. In this project, many of you will be working in a program or in a type of application that you have never used before, and that is a web creation tool. I'm recommending that you use Microsoft Front Page. I think in the instructions I've already made it clear that it is available on East Campus. So if you choose not to buy the program yourself, and I really don't recommend it, then you can come to the Valencia East Campus, and in Building 4 on the first floor, you will find the software is available on over 100 computers. A very similar program to this is the new Microsoft SharePoint Designer. So if any of you are going to actually get the program, I would suggest that you get SharePoint Designer. The instructions have been created front page, so the only difference is you may have to do a little bit more searching on your own to find out how to do these things step by step. Again, I want to thank you for your participation. I think the discussions have been going very, very well. You will notice that I try to stay out of the discussions as much as possible. I've discovered that your interaction with each other is often more important and much more vital than my simply getting in there and trying to tell you what you should be doing or tell you how to do these things. If you have individual questions, please feel free to either use the email that we have inside our WebCT. Also, don't forget that you have a Who's Online tool inside WebCT. If you click on that, you can look and see if I'm online. If I am online, you can click on my name and give me an invitation to chat. I will try to respond to you if I see this, so please be sure and take advantage of that if you want. Otherwise, thank you and keep up the good work.